Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or are you just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. Thank you to everyone showing up. I know I'm competing with Friday Night Tights, but it's going to have to be this way for the foreseeable future. If you do want me to do episodes of the Cringe Factory during the week, just because I have a Wednesday evening class. I am now back to being a graduate. Well, I'm still a graduate student, but I'm back to having to go to campus at least once a week for a class on Shakespearean adaptations, which actually for the most part, enjoyed the first class. The first class was just primarily an introduction, but we got to watch Shakespeare in Love, which is completely historically inaccurate, but a fun movie to watch. So that was enjoyable. So a lot of it will be be covering films and plays and so forth, as well as Shakespearean influences on other pop culture memes. And one of the projects we do will be touching on the influence, either a theme or a character. And I think I want to focus on Hamlet and compare Hamlet to Batman. And it's the shirts kind of a thing. So how both are basically tragic Shakespearean characters and the Shakespearean tragedies. So that's my plan. But before I say hello to the chat, Stieg.
Hi.
Has been gracious co-host since I started this. And
really?
Let everybody know where they can find you.
I thought I came in a year later, to be honest. Sorry, I don't. Yeah, I'm shit at paying attention. But yeah, hi.
Yeah, so I was just saying how my campus class is Shakespearean adaptations, and I'm thinking about doing one of my essays. I can't remember which essay it is on a comparison of Hamlet and Batman.
So you have to decide to do or not to do?
To be or not to be. But not how about Batman, and this kind of goes off of something that Kevin Conroy said a while back about how both they're kind of like Batman. If you look at some of his story, it could be a Shakespearean tragedy. So
yeah,
I'm going to compare those two, and how Batman kind of meshes in a way with those themes with Hamlet. So
yeah, and there's that split personality thing-ish going on as well.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I guess
one of my essays. So
I also guess Othello might work.
Othello might work, but a lot of themes basically you see a lot, amongst his tragedies and comedies, basically kind of repeat themselves, but at the same time feel different. So, but I'll figure that out down the ways. It's going to be a little ways down. I have to do my first essay because it's just the first class this week. But at any rate, let me say hello to the chat, and then we'll get into one of our first topics, the 3 topics we'll be covering, if you could tell from the title, is Dan Slott. He's now back in the news, and not, of course, it's him being him again. The actress playing Faye in Cowboy Bebop, and the Salon hit piece. And then what John Cleese is doing. We'll end with John Cleese on a positive note, because I think John Cleese is a Chad. I might not agree with him entirely politically, but it doesn't matter. He just shows common sense. And he says, basically, cancel culture is ruining comedy. And here's how. So, without further ado, starting from the top, it's Dermot McQuaid. Hello there. Hello, Dermot. Nice to see you. Sunny and Brave Megatron, he wishes he could stay, but he's watching a movie with the fam in a bit. Thank you for your birthday wishes and for being a most loyal disciple, Decepticon Bubblebutt. Yes, that is my Decepticon name. Keep being sexy and awesome, everybody. Thank you so much, Sunny and Brave Megatron, and hope you have a good rest of your birthday today. So, hope you had fun. Black Samurai 76, greetings. What have we got in store tonight? Well, enough cringe, basically. Nice cringe. Shell, hello again. Yes, I was talking with him in Lethal's chats for the Vanguard, the Alpha. He was playing for Call of Duty Vanguard. It's actually very interesting. Kind of like with him, it kind of grew on me, but I think it's a campaign that best works if you can communicate with your teammates, as Lethal experienced. Trey Courtney, what up? Good to see you, Trey. Chunk the Punk. I can't do in Chunk's voice. So he says, "Hey, you guys," and he's the one who recommended Tales of Vesperia to me, which I was playing yesterday. I'm going to try to play tomorrow, but I'm kind of at the mercy of my mom. I get to go. Yeah, I'm kind of voluntold to go shopping with her because she needs clothes for my dad's high school reunion coming up. So, and a Lethal Lightning Australian $5 super chat. She says, "Hola, hola." Thank you so much, Lethal Lightning. Hope you enjoy the show, and I very much enjoyed your stream earlier today. Let's see, Phil. Hey, LJ Shadow, looking great, and hey, Steve. Thank you so much, Phil. Liquid Blake. He's here. Yes, Liquid Blake. He was also in Lethal Lightning's chat. Yes, Blake. I gotta know. I passed out before Rhino's stream last night. Because I was actually trying not to yawn on my own Twitch stream. Did he finally realize that he was reacting to a fake leaked trailer? I need to know. Tehillim, I think I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. 29. Good to see you, Stig. And he says, good.
Likewise.
See you, Jade Shadow. Thank you so much. And likewise, as he said. Oh, yes, Dan Slott is a piece of shit. Yes, he is. And like I said, he's in the news again. Cherish Hamilton. Hi, Jade. Love you. And like raising the arms. Thank you so much, Cherish. Hope you enjoyed the show this evening. Maza, hey you. I'm assuming that I'll be seeing you in either Lethal Lightning's or Josiah Rise's Twitch streams chat, because I'm pretty sure in about a little less than a couple hours, both Lethal and Josiah will be streaming Warzone, as always, every Friday. So if you're still up, go check them out on Twitch. Mystic Red Knight, hello everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. Nathan Stein, I used to think Slott couldn't be that bad. Boy, was I wrong. Yep, he keeps proving things wrong again. Comic Quirks with Jimmy. I think it's the first time I'm seeing you in the chat. Thank you so much for stopping by. Gerard Way, your dad is braver than me because I will never go to a high school reunion. The last high school reunion I was invited to, I couldn't go to because I was deploying to Iraq. So I wasn't able to attend. Yes, you saw Chopper. Chopper was awesome. Enough said. Yes, it is awesome. And I think Experiment 626 said earlier that it's supposed to have a Blu-ray release next month. So we'll be able to see like those who weren't able to see it in the theaters, also including those, unfortunately, with their asshole governments in lockdown. Those of us outside of Australia will be able to watch a good copy of it, not one that's just on YouTube. So yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I also was deployed to Afghanistan, so I've been deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq. So those were both interesting and different experiences without being able to go into any details. Oh, he was kind of mad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't want to talk.
Rhino was mad? Really?
He did a trailer reaction to the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. And then he did in the same video, he did another reaction to what he believed was a leaked trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, which showed like different footage, but it was actually a fan-made trailer. And he didn't realize it at the time when he was reacting to it. So,
well, some of those fan-made trailers look good nowadays, though.
What?
Some of those fan-made trailers look quite good these days. So.
Oh yeah. Like, this one, a little part of me could see how someone could confuse it, but at the same time, I was like, if you were to watch the fan-made trailer, you would be like, okay, those are clips from Maguire's and Garfield's Spider-Man movies. You could tell in some of the clips. So, Liquid Blake says, I feel like you can thank me in my stream on Chopper for the Blu-ray. I did ask him to make one. I take full credit. Take all the credit. I watched your stream on Chopper. It was fun. So take all the credit, man. Take all the credit. Dan Slott's a piece of shit, and you'll see again why that he's a piece of shit. So, and Nick McCabe. Hey there, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Nick. All right. OMG, I lost my mind for a solid 10 minutes when Melina and William Dafoe's Green Goblin laugh. Yeah. So, yep. I see. Okay. Yeah. Steeg posted a commercial in the group chat, or the private chat, which I'll be playing at the end of. Oh yeah. Hey, Master of the TDS. Sorry, meant to say hello to you. Dan blocked. He blocked me too. Never. Really
I'm not blocked.
Yeah. So,
but I probably will be because I tend to be blocked by people that don't like you.
Yeah.
It's been a thing for 3 years now.
Yeah, they did. The people I get to block may generally do chain blocks. So I'll get messages or tweets from people going like, "What did you do?" Like, you really want to know? So yeah. Hey Corey, good evening to you. Okay, I think I said hello to everyone in the chat. So I'm gonna give my co-host again the choice. We are going to be talking about what John Cleese is doing, but I wanted to save that for the last topic only because, while it does touch a little bit on cringe, and that is the cringe of cancel culture, it is a positive story about because what he's doing with a documentary that's going to be airing. So I want to save that for last. We end more on an optimistic note. So my co-host, your choice is Dan Slott or the actress playing Faye on Cowboy Bebop.
Let's do the one about what's his name, Slott.
Dan Slott. Okay, so we will go.
Yeah, let's go with that.
We'll go first into the Bounty in the Comics article, and then I will show a screenshot that Steeg sent me because I am blocked. He's not of what.
Yeah.
After the article that came out, what Dan Slott further did to make him again.
I did journalism. I did journalism for the first time.
Series. He held me because I wouldn't be able to see it. I would not have been able to see it. So, without further ado, let me share my screen. Where are you? There you go. All right. Marvel writer Dan Slott doubles down on bullying fan over Twitter activity, demands fan delete tweets discussing previous incidents.
He looks like a gay Santa Claus.
Yeah. That's an insult to Santa Claus and whatever gay one is out there, I might add. So I compared Dan Slott to a gif of an angry baby. Yeah. It fits pretty much. But let's go into
He reminds me of Wendig because I've seen several pictures of this guy now, and just like Chuck Wendig, his mouth is always open.
Yeah, like it's like what my dad would say. It's like you're gonna catch flies with your mouth. Basically, like your mouth is open. Yeah, that's what it's like. So
it's like Chuck Wendig. His mouth is always open. I mean, what does he want? Well, I can make a few guesses, but still.
I can't remember to do the motion. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's what he wants. Hey Sam, good evening to you. Yeah, he can't, but he likes to think he can, like Wendig. He likes to think he can. So let me go into this article, like I said, and then I'll show you the screenshot of what Dan Slott is attempting. And when I say attempting, I mean like I don't necessarily know how successful he will be, but it further emphasizes what a piece of shit he is. So here it is. Following Marvel writer Dan Slott's recent policing of a fan's Twitter activity wherein he blocked and scolded said fan simply for following various Comicsgate affiliated accounts, the current Fantastic Four helmsman, dear God, he's writing Fantastic Four, has doubled down on his bullying, going on to take issue with the fans' discussion of and demanding he delete tweets related to the incident. So basically, he's saying he's saying that you can't talk about this. He's trying to police this fan's First Amendment rights on Twitter. Is what he's essentially doing. Hey, Teresa. New He-Man stinks. Yes, it does. It does.
Both of them. There's two of them.
Mm-hmm.
The other one looks like I don't know, some kids with He-Man.
Yeah.
On PlayStation 1.
Shortly after Slott's passive-aggressive attempt to enforce an ideological purity test was brought to widespread attention by Bounding into Comics, said fan YouTuber Joshua Quirk was invited to discuss his unfortunate interaction with the Marvel author in an August 24th live stream hosted by YouTube channel I Love Comics. So I guess you can go and find that live stream if you want to check out like what this guy is saying about the incident. Appearing on the show, Quirk explained to host Angleton, "I don't even see myself as someone who's part of the culture war. I got accused of something, and then I was like, wait, hold up, I've got to defend myself," which everyone has the right to do if they're being accused of something they're not guilty of. Basically, like he's basically saying that this guy is guilty by association simply because he follows certain accounts. And chances are there's people out there that follow accounts that they don't agree with, but they follow them in a way to kind of keep tabs on them in a way.
And you know what, though? A lot of the accounts I follow is just because I follow back. Sometimes I just, a couple of times a year, I'll check my Twitter, the follower thing, and I'll follow people back. I'm terrible at doing that, but I have no clue what kind of political affiliations, the people I follow have. Because there's like, I don't know how many I have, 500 something followers, maybe. I don't know who, 80% of them are.
Like, you're not going to know right off the bat, like, what a person is like. Like, you might, like you said, just to be nice, follow them back. And then find out down the road that they're not playing with the full deck of cards.
Oh, yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah. But still, I don't know anything about Comicsgate, right?
Like the minute he follows Rhino.
So I could easily get in this situation because I have no clue about Comicsgate, really. So if I'm following someone who's into Comicsgate or whatever it is, I'd get blocked just by association.
Well, kind of like with Comic Works with Jimmy is like I kind of follow some Comicsgate people too, and I don't agree with everything that they say, but I follow them and I might like some of their posts, but doesn't mean I myself am Comicsgate. But that's what Dan Slott is accusing people of, is that guilt by association, and that's why he's like went after this guy. And these are the same people that are like, whenever not to exactly bring up what's happening in Afghanistan, but whenever like a terrorist bombing happens, they're the first ones to say, "Don't judge the entire group. Don't judge the entire group," which I agree with. Don't judge the entire group. Yeah. Judge the asshole who committed the crime. Yeah. But then they turn around and judge the entire group.
Yeah, excellent point. That's exactly what they're doing. So, or, if you disagree with Biden, you're a Trump supporter. I got accused of voting for Trump not long ago. I had to explain that, if you look at my Twitter page, it says I'm from Norway.
They don't bother it. Like
I'm say not allowed to vote.
Yeah. Like you say anything that they don't agree with, and that automatically makes you a Trumper in their mind.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I had a comic gate thing happen 2 weeks ago. Some person went batshit crazy on me for and accused me of being a comics gator and all kinds of stuff, and I had no clue what the person was talking about, and it turned out that Anna had retweeted one of my tweets. I didn't know that, but that was it. The person just went crazy.
Of course, didn't you love that on Twitter?
Yeah, I had no clue until like
what you did
3 hours later.
Yeah, you have no idea what you did.
Yeah, the person was talking about her. I was like, who's her?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
All right. Given that he and his interaction with Slott were the focus of this story, Quirk eventually went on to share links to both Bounding into Comics reporting of the story and his own appearance on I Love Comics to his Twitter followers, a pair of decisions that would once again lead to him being the target of Slott's ire. As seen in direct messages exchanged between Quirk and Slott provided to Bounding into Comics by Quirk himself, once Slott took notice of Quirk's sharing of the two aforementioned pieces of media coverage, the Marvel author charged into the YouTuber's direct messages, so he basically went into his DMs and bellowed, "Oh, for fuck's sake, why is that the first and the third post on your feed? Why? Why do you fucking care?"
Seems,
That's what I have to ask. That's why I would ask him, why do you care?
That's some hell of an entitlement, though.
Yes, it exactly is. I say he's again kind of like the hypocrisy of this side, where they like to think of themselves as champions of the First Amendment, but they're the first ones to try to police your speech. And if he didn't like what the guy was posting, then just block him. Just block him or mute him if you're not following him. You won't see anything from the guy. Yeah, like why do you give a fuck? Like why? That's like what I'm thinking. He's probably the same sort of simpleton who thinks authors agree with the worst characters they write. Now, probably. Oh, okay. Angleton asked me to talk about the article I stuck up for you and said you were actually a good guy. I really did. You can watch it. Defended Quark. He should not have. If he messaged back on anything, he should have just said, "Why do you care? I didn't say anything wrong," and just left it at that. It's like, don't do any exchange with the guy. But this is what happened. I really did. You can watch it. Defended Quark. And the third post is me saying, "Oh boy," because it's the shitty website Bounding into Comics. So basically, Dan Slott is going after a guy who doesn't even like Bounding into Comics. And just saying, "Oh boy," they wrote an article about it. Dan, I'm not an asshole, man, the YouTuber reasoned in conclusion. However, Quark's explanations were yet again unsatisfactory for Slott, who proceeded to assert Angleton is a Comicsgate guy and confirmed that the whole reason I originally said I was blocking you is because you were following Comicsgate people. And you were like, I didn't know that. He falsely continued, as Quark never denied knowledge that some of the people he was following were Comicsgate affiliated. And you're giving them a boost on your site and getting their word out there. So here's the post, basically. So he's like, Quark again is defending himself. And this is Dan Slott's response. Though Quark affirmed that he even came on here to tell you about it in an attempt to assuage Slott's anger, the writer chose to instead lecture Quark on his own personal belief that Comicsgate is a hate group.
Well, why is it that everything they don't like is a hate group?
Because they don't goose step to the same sociopolitical agenda. So if you don't goose step to the same sociopolitical agenda, you're a hate group. Even though Comicsgate, now again, I don't necessarily follow Comicsgate. I don't believe in everything necessarily Comicsgate promotes necessarily, but at the same time, most everyone I've seen that either support or are kind of in a way part of it, it's a diverse group. But these people lie about that.
Well, there's all kinds of people doing comics that I've noticed on Twitter. I have no clue which of them are comics gators though, but
no, I'm saying
I saw Fatal J finished his comic.
Just within Comicsgate itself, it's pretty diverse. Now, like you expand it, yeah, it's really diverse. The people who are dipping their toes into writing their own comics, because let's face it, comics is just about making its way to the grave at this point. At least DC and Marvel is. Just about the way to go now is manga. It's pretty diverse. But again, that's not the narrative. The narrative is they're a hate group, or these people who even remotely likes their tweets are part of the hate group. They're not diverse. They're like a bunch of cis white males. That's the narrative.
Yeah, it's actually this is something I've been struggling with lately. Comics, because I realized I miss reading comics, having a comic in my hand, and I haven't really done that for ages, right? I've read graphic novels and stuff, but that's not a comic. I want a small comic, right? A regular one. And I don't know what comics to get into, because all of a sudden they're all woke.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go back and get older comics.
Oh, yeah. That's what Nerdrotics is doing. That's what I'm going to... I know I'm going to be finding myself in that position. I'm pretty sure... Lethal, like, for example, like, Lethal... myself, Steph, my nerdy home, like we'll most likely die on the DC Comics hill because we're DC people. But it's getting harder and harder to find good stories within DC, and like definitely harder to find good stories within Marvel that doesn't like go into the identity politics realm. It's
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Master
It's a
Master
shame.
of TDS is saying, just be careful what you look up this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a mishap yesterday.
Don't listen to Nina.
I
First,
didn't know what hentai was, and she told me to Google it, so I did. Now I know.
oh my god. Even when someone came back to you and said it's a trap. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but I didn't notice that until afterwards. And then I like, you know.
Ugh. Okay, next time anyone tells you to look up anything, now again, I am the one who threatens to send you Paltrow candles, but I will be honest. And if someone says you to look up something and I know what it is, and I know that you shouldn't look it up, I will tell you.
Well,
Don't look up hentai.
well, this is a shame for the D&D Sundays, isn't it? Because now I have ideas.
I'm gonna kill you now. Dropping in to leave a like. Thank you so much, Orange Chat Reviews. Can't stay because he has his versus stream coming up soon. Dan Slott is a tard. Cowboy Bebop bitch is well a bitch. And John Cleese is and always will be a legend. Yes, he is. And Gerard Way says, I find it weird that people born in the most offensive eras are now offended by everything today. Like, how sheltered were you? Exactly. These are the same people who grew up with South Park, for Christ's sakes. And they need safe spaces. How did they survive?
Yeah.
Hey, the Sentinel. Good evening to you.
I would like to see, well, it's not possible to do, but have a bunch of them travel back to the 80s and live in the 80s for 2 weeks. That would have been a sight.
Yeah. I mean, hell, just Blazing Saddles. They'd have conniptions if they were to watch Blazing Saddles. And like we grew up on like movies like that. And
yeah, well,
I don't know how to understand the
trading places too.
Yeah, I don't understand the disconnect. I really don't. Like, how did we get in this position where now we need safe spaces and trigger warnings?
Well, the easy answer is that they're retarded.
And more power to you. I'd stay away from that shit. So,
yeah, that was
next time, come to me.
Instead of watching hentai, I should come to you.
Instead of watching hentai, or like at least if someone recommends you, like that recommends you look up something, just say, "Hey, someone recommended that I look up this," and I'd be like, "No."
It's like, don't watch hentai. I'll take care of you.
No, God, shut up.
I have a candle. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm sending you a candle. No, I'm not. Sentinel. I'm not wearing a Guns N' Roses shirt. I'm wearing '89 Batman shirt.
Yep.
So sorry, I can't really stand up that easily to show everybody, but that's what I'm wearing. Yeah, moving on in this article.
What's yo? What is it? YAOI.
YAOI. Yowie.
Hillam 29 is saying, at least I haven't looked up that.
If he's saying that at least you haven't looked up that, don't look it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Anyway, moving on in this article. Okay. The Quirk affirmed that he even came on here to tell you about it and attempt. Okay, I read that. This isn't a both sides things, he said, repeating his argument from his initial argument with Quirk. This is a group that came into existence by harassing LGBTQ plus members, people of color, and women working in comics. I can link you to a dozen of mainstream press articles that break this all down. I'm pretty sure you can link them to all the hit pieces with lies and propaganda and misleading information.
I should have listened to you.
What do I say? You should have listened. Oh, fucking hell.
Screw this.
No matter what BS comic skaters like to spin, they are a hate group, Slott further exclaimed. They have a member on their live streams who associated with the Proud Boys, a reference to Lady Alchemy, Mutus Liber creator Martina Marcota's various appearances on podcasts hosted by Proud Boys founder Gavin McInnes. This isn't rocket science, man. Well, first I'm hearing about that, but at the same time, it's like, why do you fucking care? Slott continued, you don't balance that out by also following Chip Zdarsky and John Swentris. This isn't some kind of algebra equation where it somehow makes it okay to reach out and have conversations with members of a full-on hate group, even though you guys want to have conversations with people. yourselves. But we can't do it. He started in his rant.
It's people that have basically they've destroyed their ability to think with being by being flooded with rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why they keep linking to articles.
Yeah.
I actually saw one of the D&D authors, the ones who write novels, saying that facts and stuff doesn't really matter if the rhetoric is good.
Yeah. Basically,
what?
Facts don't care about your feelings, but in this case, feelings are all that matters. And if they feel that a certain person is guilty by association or a certain group is a hate group, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what the facts present.
Well, what does that make Disney fans then?
So,
what does that make Disney fans then? Disney put the black guy at the back of the bus on the Chinese Force Awakens poster, and
they removed him outright on the Chinese poster.
No, he's way at the back.
No, I'm pretty sure they removed him.
Or maybe that was from another one though. But they also filmed a movie next to an active concentration camp.
Well, that was a Mulan movie, yeah.
Yeah,
and they thanked the government of that locality.
Yeah. Thank you for keeping the noise down during the shoot, right?
Yeah, yes, thank you. Thank you for providing the extras in the background.
Catering was excellent.
Yes. Okay. In conclusion to his rant, Slott demanded essentially obedience from Quark, stating, demanded obedience. Let me rephrase an earlier DM. Why are those still the first and third posts on your feed in a repeated attempt to have Quark delete his tweets? Again, policing another person's freedom of speech. After linking to a number of heavily biased and poorly researched articles on the subject of Comicsgate from the Miami Herald, the Washington Post, and Inverse, yes, those journalistic
solid sources.
Yeah. Slott finally gave Quark a chance to interject, at which point the YouTuber told the Marvel writer, "I'm not into that side of comics. I'm actually quite ignorant on Comicsgate because besides they are a cult," wrote Quark. "I'm friends with John, by the way, had him on my channel. He will say I'm not into that crap." Noting that he never had the chance to delete the tweets because he had been actively speaking with Slott, Quark said, "What do I have to do to make you believe me? Dan, I'm a fan. I really am. Please don't make me have a bad experience with you." He's making you have a bad experience as you're saying, "Please don't make me have a bad experience with you." Do you have what, Stockholm syndrome or something?
Yeah, that's you should have told him to fuck off.
That's what I would have told him. Like as soon as he started basically with the especially with the harassment, I would have said, "I'm ending this conversation now." Pretty much. I would said, told him to fuck off, and I would have deleted the thread. Yeah, you blocked me anyway. So why are you bothering with me right now?
What's Shota hentai? They're saying it in the chat.
If they're saying don't look it up, at least you haven't looked it up. Don't. I'm
trying.
Don't.
I'm not looking it up.
Don't. Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, I haven't done it.
Okay, don't. Yeah. So, as Quirk followed up his plea with the confirmation that said tweets were gone now, Slott mustered a thank you in response. All right. In messages sent to Bounding into Comics, Quirk explained that he chose to reach out and share his private correspondences with Slott because I'm actually really upset about it and he shouldn't get away with this. When informed that staff would set out to write a follow-up article on Slott's behavior, Quirk told Bounding into Comics, "Thanks, I used to think you guys were crazy, but I think I was wrong about that." Once again, choosing to take the passive-aggressive route, Slott followed up his exchange with Quirk by tweeting to his followers, "A hard-to-learn lesson of social media, talking about awful people and bad faith arguments gives them oxygen. If you try to shine a light on a bad actor, you're actually giving them a signal boost and extending their reach." Criticizing himself for deigning to speak of Comicsgate, Slott concluded, and here's the even more frustrating part: if you talk about not talking about something on the internet, you're still talking about it. It's the vicious cycle. So, what do you think about Slott's further attempt to bully Quirk? Well,
Well, the guy should have told him to just go fuck himself because you know, it's intrusive as hell. You know,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
No.
Anyway,
talking to Blake.
It's intrusive as hell. He's basically messaging him and telling him what he can or can't do on social media, which is weird that a Marvel writer does that to someone.
Yeah, it's like with the Disney Star Wars authors who would target fans criticizing their work and like would not have gotten away with this at. They would not even done this at all, but they definitely would not have gotten away with it at all if like and before Disney took over.
No, they would have been booted out fast. Back when Lucas was in charge of it, right? And we had the EU.
Yeah.
There was piles of very left-leaning writers in that group, but they never took it on the fans, and they didn't stuff their politics into the novels either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, professionals. Imagine that.
I get not wanting to be rude, but like once someone crosses the line, that's when you maybe not exactly say fuck off, but that's when you end the conversation because there's no rational discussion to be had with someone who goes that far.
Well,
and
yeah, exactly.
Demanding that you delete tweets or that you're guilty by association just because you happen to follow people. And like we pointed out earlier in the stream, Stieg follows people that he doesn't really know that well. I mean, I follow people that I don't really know that well. I'll give them a follow back like Stieg does and so forth. Or sometimes we follow people just to kind of like basically just because, like I think at one point, like I think I still follow Mark Hamill, even though I don't agree with him politically.
Yeah, and you know what makes this extra cringe though is he went to the guy's Twitter page and checked up on him, right? And then he starts demanding blah blah blah, and then he goes back. He goes back to see if the guy has deleted the tweets. He actually did that. He went back and looked later. That's
and you shared something with me because, like I said, I'm blocked by Dan Slott. Never interacted with him, so it must have been one of those chain blocks that he did. So I'm going to open the image, so I'm not. Hopefully, just shows the image. But I'm gonna share this. This is what Stieg shared with me, and this happened not long after the Bounding into Comics article came out about the exchange.
Jimmy in the chat says, even though Dan did that to him, the comics community has been really nice and supportive. That's good.
Yes, and that's like, I'm not saying that everyone within the community is perfect necessarily, but the vast majority will have your back. We'll have your back, and like they see shit like this. Most are like Stieg and me, and those in the chat.
Yeah, I've never.
We're your proverbial wingmen.
I've never supported any independent comics because if I do that, I get shipping and import taxes too. If I buy one, so something that costs $30 ends up costing $100. So I just don't do that. I don't want a comic that badly, especially since I'm not really a comic person.
I try to support independent creators as much as I can. I supported Red Gaze with his work with Sunsworn. I believe I got an email today. I haven't checked, but Miriam, she's doing like her comic, Bonds. I pre-ordered that, so I'm waiting for that to come. But yeah, like I try to support independent creators as much as possible. Like, do I necessarily agree with everyone in the community? No, but those I like and want to support, I will support, and those I don't necessarily monetarily support, I will support by either retweeting their work or letting others know, hey, this is out there for you to look at if this is what you're all interested in. And I think that's kind of the community that we need to foster. Again, like where a lot of how we move forward is in how we communicate amongst each other and agree to disagree. And I'm finding that there's even still some people who like to claim that they have that mentality, but prove yet again that they can't. They're almost like Dan Slott in disguise. And those people, I basically, how do I put this? I disassociate with, or I just don't talk to at all. So,
Yeah, it's. I just tend, if I'm supporting someone, it's because they actually need help, right? So,
yeah.
but I'll PayPal,
Yeah.
something.
So it's like support when we can, either monetarily by buying whatever work they're producing, or at the very least, putting the word out for them.
Yeah.
That way, hey, like this is happening. If you're at all interested in this type of story, here's what this person is doing.
Yeah, and having been a writer myself back in the day, I've always had respect for people who
Yes.
write and create something, because actually doing it is a big deal. Coming up with the idea and all that stuff is fairly easy, because all you have to do is daydream, right, and take notes and all that. But people actually sit down and do it and get it done. That's a big deal. And what's his name? Kai MFS did a big sci-fi novel. Probably at least 500 pages. That's a big deal, and it's awesome that he did that.
Damn, 500 pages. Wow.
Yeah, it's a brick, I think.
Hey, comic chat. Thank you so much for stopping by. But we're going to end on this. This is what Stieg sent me earlier. And apparently, like I said, I'm blocked, so I would not have seen this. But Dan Slott tweeted this out. If a rando shows up in your replies and says something awful, don't respond. You're giving them what they want, attention and a boost. Instead of responding, look at their timeline, find something reportable, and report them. It's better than a response and might lock their account. So he's actively telling his followers to get people suspended on Twitter. No matter how far back they have to go.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, though. The first half is fair, Yeah. If someone tries to trigger you on Twitter, don't reply.
Or mute them. Yeah, just mute, like if you're not following them, mute them. You won't see what they're saying. So
yeah, which is fair enough. But what he's saying between the lines here, though, is basically go find the people that are talking shit about me and get them blocked.
Yeah,
that's what he really means.
Well, yeah, that's what he really means. But it's still he's sending his flying monkeys.
Yeah.
Out into the Twitterverse.
Yeah.
To target people who really have no vested interest at all in anything that's going on with Dan Slott. Really. They might just respond to a post with it, like basically a basic I don't agree with you type tweet or something, and if Dan Slott doesn't agree with them, then sends his flying monkeys out.
And this guy writes Fantastic Four comics, right?
That's what he said. Yeah, he's working on Fantastic Four. So.
And is he known for anything else?
I'd have to look him up because I'm more DC, so I never really got into Marvel. But yeah, this guy has been in the news before, like when the election was happening, and he's one of the ones with I don't care what your politics are. But he had basically Trump derangement syndrome and was going off on people who just happened to maybe say something just remotely positive about what was happening.
Basically, he's just like Chuck Wendig then.
Yeah. So he would fly off the handle at people, and we're like, what's your problem? Like, really, what's your problem? Okay, Silver Surfer is one. Okay, that's enough. Damn it. So, but I'm disappointed about Fantastic Four because Fantastic Four is one of the few, granted, I kind of kind of segued from Marvel. Like I got more into DC, but growing up, Fantastic Four was amongst the ones that I loved, to include Spider-Man and X-Men.
Do you want a bit of trivia with Fantastic Four?
Sure.
I know something that I think most people in the chat don't know. I think this is Fantastic Four the seventh issue. I think that was it. Way back in the 50s, probably. That's the first time George R.R. Martin was published, because he sent a fan letter to Marvel about the Fantastic Four, and it got printed in issue number 7. Pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the tweet with the video from the Cowboy Bebop actress. Because we're gonna start with that first, and we're gonna segue into why is she saying something this fucking stupid?
Because she's stupid.
Oh yeah, that's the easy response.
Yeah, sometimes the easy one is the right one.
Okay, there's my tweet. Okay, because I quote tweeted something and I had to find the original tweet. So let me share my screen and make sure I share audio. Even though it didn't matter the one time I didn't.
Oh, a little bit of brand new news regarding this. The Netflix Cowboy Bebop series is getting a prequel novel.
My comic, yeah, I saw that. I just saw that. The artwork looks so fucking trash. Like it's a prequel. Yay! And my bomb at the rate they're going. But here it is. This was her response. Not the best look.
Hey guys! So as you know, our Cowboy Bebop first look dropped today, which was so exciting. And I just wanted to address a couple of things that sort of keep coming up in the comments amongst fans. First, I wanted to apologize to the fans that I did not anatomically match the Faye Valentine character. 6 foot, double D size breast, 2-inch waist. You know, they looked everywhere for that woman, and they couldn't.
First off, that's not Faye.
Secondly,
Faye.
double D's and 6 feet, not that uncommon though.
No, it's not that uncommon. But someone even shared a post like under my Twitter post. It's like, what is she talking about? Like, who is she talking about here? 6 foot double D. Like, who the fuck is she talking about? Not Faye. It's not. All right.
Couldn't find her. It's kind of weird. So they just went with my short ass. I know. Am I right? You know, there was talk about like, can we put Daniela in a time machine and maybe give her different parents so she has different genetic information to sort of make her look better? It proved to be too.
Like Lisa pointed out in his video, like maybe we should invent a time machine to go back in time and slap the agreement out of Netflix's hands. So
complicated. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was I want to apologize that the outfit I'm wearing is not exactly what she wears in the anime. You know, we tried, but doing stunts in tissue paper, things disappear, they rip. Sometimes it just got lost. Anyway, like I was saying, that original costume, they made a couple of them, but like I said, they got sort of slurped up in my various crevices, never to be retrieved again. So we needed to really build something that could withstand the test of time. So just, you know.
Yeah. So,
question: how did Michelle Pfeiffer
2-inch
do?
waist? Like, what the fuck is she talking about? Yeah.
How did Michelle Pfeiffer do her stunts then?
Oh, it must have been before like the invention of women superheroes.
Yeah, something like that. It's women have been doing stunts in outfits like that forever. You know?
Yeah. Doing stunts forever in outfits that's like they would not normally wear. Now, granted, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here. While cosplayers do do it better, and they're able to show that they could have done a costume, a anime accurate costume for Faye. That like, if Netflix wanted to go a slightly more realistic route, okay, fine. But the outfit itself is horrendous, and you'll see it on the picture in the Salon article I'm going to share, because this is what she's piggybacking off of in this patronizing, snarky response to the criticism, which
is and she's kind of dissing the stunt women too.
Yes, and now were there maybe some lecherous individuals like in the criticisms? Well, some likely. I'm not saying that necessarily they don't exist, and they probably are making some kind of lewdish type comments, but the vast majority that I've seen are constructive criticisms of of what they're seeing from the still images. They're not liking what they're seeing with the characters, and these are people that grew up or at least love the anime and want to see it done relative justice, even though they have no trust whatsoever in Netflix.
Well, Netflix is her employer now for this show. She's working for Netflix, and she is complaining about the character's outfit in the anime and the way the character looks, and she doesn't like the character being sexualized, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, what's her thoughts about the outfits the kids wore in Cuties?
Never insulted the fans.
Yeah. So, what's her thought about Cuties then, and the outfits those kids had to wear while working for? Yeah, well, they weren't working for Netflix, but they were.
Well, it's a Netflix movie on Netflix, so
so she's fine with that, and Netflix is fine with that. But if an anime character looks sexualized, then big crime.
Mm-hmm. And this is what she's piggybacking off of. This is what she's feeding into the Salon article that came out. Of course, Cowboy Bebop is already inciting horny male outrage, and it hasn't even premiered yet. Because most of the criticism is centered on how Faye looks, but a lot of the criticism is because the outfit itself is horrendous, in my opinion.
It looks like, you know what it looks like?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Asian April O'Neil.
Well, at least April O'Neil's outfit stood out. Look at this. This is not exactly the whole image, but when you have a dark lighting, you want the actor or actress to stand out, and the colors on her in her costume are so muted that she almost blends into the background in this shot. She doesn't stand out.
No,
she doesn't stand out at all.
I've never seen the show though, so I'm not a good source of information for this.
This is what you can look up. Look up her character and look up cosplayers who for her character, and you'll see it can be done.
Let's see, Faye Valentine. Okay,
yeah.
This is safe to Google, right?
Put safe search on if you're uncomfortable. I don't know what will pop up, but generally looking up Faye Valentine is safe. So, but this is a Salon article that she's piggybacking off of about the horny male outrage. So basically, surprise, surprise, men of the World Wide Web, again, focusing just on the men, never mind the women, such as myself and others who have criticized this, have mobilized once again. No, not over the rapidly worsening climate catastrophe, stagnant wages, the broken healthcare system, or endemic rape culture. Yes, all those little woke sociopolitical narratives, but rather over a real issue, the outfit of a female bounty hunter in the live-action adaptation of beloved anime series Cowboy Bebop. Netflix released first look images on Monday, and the reaction was quite revealing about one character's not revealing outfit. This male outrage follows a long, ongoing history of pitchfork-wielding men gathering in their town square of choice, be that Twitter or Reddit, and declaring war on any on-screen depiction of a female character that doesn't sexually gratify them. Have you looked up Faye? Does she look at all like you would?
No, she doesn't look like that at all. And some of the stuff I did find was a bit racy because fan art.
Well, but, fan art, I'm saying it can be a little bit, but
it didn't look any worse than. Actually, Baywatch was probably worse than this. You know, in terms of whatever. But I don't know. I didn't see anything wrong with this.
Yeah.
And weird thing, I wasn't turned on.
Yeah,
False
go figure.
advertisement. I was supposed to be turned on by this. I wasn't. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm even less turned on though by that lady's personality.
Yeah. In any case, the fictional bounty hunter stoking outrage this time around is Faye Valentine, portrayed by Daniela Pineda, in the forthcoming Netflix remake of the popular sci-fi anime, which also stars Walking Thirst Trap. This is a journalist, for fuck's sakes. Jet Black, or John Cho as protagonist Spike Spiegel, and Mustafa Shakir as fellow bounty hunter Jet Black. Cowboy Bebop is set way in the future at a time when travel across moons and planets is the norm, and unsurprisingly, crime rates across the universe are quite high. Thus, space cowboys, or registered bounty hunters like Spike, Jet, and Faye, emerge to hunt and bring intergalactic offenders to justice. Okay, this goes.
I'm actually liking the premise, though.
And the premise is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna skip like this little like paragraph here. Pineda as Faye is adorned in stylish but practical attire for an intergalactic bounty hunter who regularly spars with violent outlaws and leaps from planet to planet on the regular. Just like her male peers, she reasonably dressed for her role, and men of the interwebs are losing their minds over this. These outfits look awful. I've seen far better cosplay that looks nothing like Faye Valentine, one Twitter user wrote, expressing shocked dismay that a real-life human woman looks nothing like an animated fictional cartoon woman with quadruple D cup size and 12-inch waist.
Well,
she didn't even look up the fucking character.
The guy she's referencing though actually had found someone that looked like her, so that whole thing is downright stupid. Because cosplayers can do it.
Yeah, Mr. Bentham for $5. I just want to cover these issues. I was like, if they can't get the outfits right, how can we expect them to get anything else right? Faye's story arc was amazing. Exactly. Continue, and then I'll go into the super chat. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Now I was just saying that if cosplayers can do it on a limited budget, a Netflix show backed up with a bunch of, professional seamstresses and what have you, there's no reason why they can't do this. Absolutely no reason, except for political reasons.
No reason whatsoever. It's kind of like the same thing with the Disney Marvel, like Disney. I say Disney, but like Marvel stuff and things like that, and how cosplayers do it better. Like DC Titans cosplayers do Starfire better than what DC Titans did.
Yeah, and female cosplayers, not the horny guys.
Yes,
the females do it themselves. But it's so weird now though that women aren't allowed to look attractive.
No, they're not.
Which is what's the end game for that?
The end game is a burqa.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The end game is a burqa because, like, God forbid you show any skin at this point. Because then it'll be like too revealing for the ones that call us Puritans are acting like the fucking Puritans they claim we are.
I actually talked about that on Tommy's channel earlier because people are getting YouTube strikes and whatever for showing a woman in a bikini, right? Yeah. But it's okay for a male YouTuber to sit there bare chested, right?
Well, hell, there's even like YouTube channels dedicated to naked yoga.
Yeah, but so naked male chest is okay, but a bikini lady is not okay.
Yeah.
So this is how you checkmate them. A guy sits bare chested and does a YouTube stream while identifying as a female.
There you go.
That's gonna completely crush the whole thing. Because then it's a naked female chest. They have to do something.
Yeah, exactly. Shadow Man for $10. Thank you so much. I want to see the 6-foot double D 2-inch waist character she was describing. Thanks for calling this out with this stream. Hey there, Stieg. Thank you so much, Shadow Man, and you're welcome. Yes, we wanted to call out this stupidity.
Swing by Norway. There's a lot of 6-foot women around where I live.
It'll go back to men playing female roles. Hey, I'm taking Shakespeare class. Yep, and men played female roles back then.
Yeah.
When with no gender existing now, according to these people, we could go back to that. We can go back to that. If they want to go that route, fucking hell, bring back the Globe Theater, have men play female roles, have it all men, and have the men play the female roles. Get rid of the actresses. Let's do it. Come on.
Wondering if I should Google naked yoga.
Oh my Jesus fucking Christ. All right, moving on. Another concerned citizen tweeted, "I need my Faye Valentine slutty with the puppies out. I don't know what the okay fuck." See, like things like this, yeah, they're kind of lewd, but not everyone who is criticizing Faye is saying shit like this.
Yeah, but idiots.
They cherry pick the ones
Yeah.
that fit their narrative.
Yeah, because idiots like that keep saying that. So it actually lends validity to the SJWs. You know what they're saying, all because they keep tweeting shit like that, and then they're kind of proving this article right when they do stupid shit like that.
Yeah. All right, and as Javier Grillo marks out, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, a writer on the new Cowboy Bebop told Gizmodo as early as last year, the modern live-action show has long been planning to get with the times. Red flag right there. That means toning down Faye's remarkably impractical outfit and replacing it with something more realistic and less centered around sexual wish fulfillment for male audiences who are aroused by cartoons.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip some things in this article.
What was He-Man wearing for the 2 minutes he was in the He-Man show? What was He-Man wearing?
Oh, like what? Like a loincloth kind of like thing?
A loincloth and
a chest piece that doesn't really cover his entire chest.
Yeah, it doesn't cover anything.
Yeah.
That was no problem, apparently.
No, I mean, these are the same woman that like basically drooled over a shirtless Jason Momoa in Aquaman.
All of them do.
Yeah.
And guess what?
He's not really my type. So,
and guess what? Guys aren't offended.
No. If the female outfit related outrage fest of the day feels a little like deja vu to you, that's because it is almost 2 years ago. And this is where the author cherry picks Matthew Kadish's tweet about the Birds of Prey, whenever Birds of Prey came out. Notably, her Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn's unsexualized performance.
Well, Harley Quinn is a character that actually plays a bit on sex. She's supposed to provoke, which is the same thing the Joker does. They're provocative and psycho, right? So Harley Quinn dressing slutty fits like a glove, you know? But she was wearing a sack in that movie.
Yeah. Where's Trey's comment? Yeah, they need this, Trey. They need this.
It's no hassle.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying, they're gonna get a. I'm just. Knock, knock. Who's there? Look, let me tell you a little story about a man named
Even before you start, that was a preemptive shh. Just know I have a whole bag of shh with your name on it.
Or they need this.
Take me to
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up!
Dad.
They need that. Hey, movie man Mark McDonald. These people behind the Cowboy Bebop reboot forgot that sex sells. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's not wearing a burqa or anything, and even though the outfit doesn't fit at all with the character, it's not like it's an unrealistic outfit, you know. Yeah. But still, you know, they're doing it for one reason, and it's woke points.
Yeah, it's woke points. So like I said, like just to slightly play devil's advocate, if you wanted to go the slightly more realistic route, because it is, you're coming from an anime to a live action version, and some things, like to be fair, do not translate well from anime to live action. It's the same thing with comics and so forth. At the same time, it's like to completely cover her up in that outfit.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. At least the terms of the reasoning they're giving, and that is, hey, we don't want to be canceled. So we're going to cover her up so the people don't accuse us of being sexualizing her.
Yeah, it's this actress and person writing this articles or something would have had a heart attack if they listened in on the Conan RPG we're doing.
Oh yeah. Oh, they yeah, they'd have conniptions, heart attacks, probably palpitations, maybe even seizures.
Yep, and that's actually the women's doing.
Yeah. We are so fucking toxic.
Yeah, I wasn't the one who yeah.
Yeah, we won't go into that.
I wasn't thinking about the candle.
All right. Well, I mean, but still, like we have been so toxic, and like the poor DM here, Stieg, has to tailor the stories around that, and then come up on the fly sometimes with like responses to some of the shit we pull. It's like, okay,
yeah, because there's well, one player tends to, in order to get back at other characters, tends to shag their family members on spite and things like that.
Twice.
Not gonna say who it was twice.
Yeah. All right, moving on kind of in this article. Basically, she brings up Matthew Kadish's tweet about like the costumes in Birds of Prey. And even he pointed out, and even though he points out in the tweet that like women were criticizing them as well, because sometimes women want to look at sexy women on screen too. I mean, won't someone think of the lesbians in this case? No,
they don't
he's a male, and you gotta point out that he's like a quote unquote horny male, and that's the reason why he's criticizing the costumes. So
yeah. Who was it? Let's see. Dead Punk Gage says in the chat, it makes you wonder what's going to happen with the look of Red Sonja now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's not red anymore. They cast a brunette.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But, you know, the classic Marvel Red Sonja look, where she has like a thong that's made of chainmail, and no, that's not going to happen. But she only wears that in those comics. She wears other things too in other comics. So that chainmail, even though it's like iconic, is not the norm actually. Because I read a lot of Conan and Red Sonja, because Red Sonja shows up in Conan all the time. You know, so that chainmail bikini is actually not the norm.
Yeah,
it's the norm on the covers though, because that sells. But usually she's not wearing that in the comics.
This one right here. Prior to Birds of Prey, the internet males were in a furor over Brie Larson's performance as Carol Danvers in Marvel Studios' Captain Marvel, in which Carol dons a super suit that reflects most male heroes' suits, fully covering her body. Did this person ever fucking read a Captain Marvel comic?
Yeah, and I remember when this shit happened, because that's when I stepped back from YouTube a bit, because I was on, I think it was 9 streams in 2 days, and all of them talked about Captain Marvel. So I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
You know? But women were complaining about the same stuff.
Yeah.
And
but we don't
at the same time.
We don't exist. They ignore us, yet choose to try to speak for us.
Yeah. Which is sexist, isn't it?
Yes. And she also says Carol also isn't the most feminine, happy, or smiley character. She's also emotionless entirely. And
I thought she looked feminine enough. I mean, it wasn't anything. But you know,
she had resting bitch face the entire fucking movie.
Yeah. Well, isn't the article writer now dissing Brie Larson for not looking feminine enough? Because that's kind of what
what she's doing, but she's trying to couch it in a way that it's like it's not her fault. No, it's the horny male's fault, because it says in a deleted scene nearly kills a male street harasser who tells her to smile more. She nearly he's a jerk. He's an ass, pretty much, in that scene. So fucking what? But she nearly breaks his arm and steals his property.
Well,
she steals his bike.
She did smile in that movie, though.
Her being a fucking criminal, yes.
She did smile in that movie, though. I don't. Yeah, this is just weird.
And she's bringing up like the same fucking like bullshit. Like, you know how, like, you know, the people, like, you know, oh, like, you people telling her to smile more, and they did the posters with like the male superhero smiling to show how stupid it was. I'm like, we're not saying necessarily just for her to smile. We're saying show some fucking emotion. Because every scene that they showed with her in that trailer, she looked like I said, resting bitch face the entire fucking time.
Yeah, yes, it did. And you know, the movie actually, she wasn't that bad in the movie. She had
The movie was fucking
more than
boring.
one expression in it, but
Yeah, the movie itself was fucking boring.
Has the article mentioned Ghostbusters yet? Because that usually happens.
No, however depressing male responses to progressively less and less sexualized female characters and superheroes may be, what's cause for optimism is ultimately what we're seeing on our screens. And she talks about Natasha Romanoff and the new Black Widow movie, and how she begins her story as a catsuit-clad, hypersexualized femme fatale in 2010, which her character fucking is in the comics, and ends with her a bona fide superhero who's widely beloved, not because of her sexuality or appearance, but because she saved the world with her prowess. Which, if you read the fucking comics, yes.
Well, she's basically a classic femme fatale Russian spy.
Well, that's essentially what she's bred for.
Yeah.
So, like, them, like, pointing all this shit out, the people who know, at least recently know the character in the comics are like, yeah, that's what she does. She uses her sexuality to get what she's after.
She's using that
to get what she's after.
She's using that training in Avengers when she gets the information out of Loki. She's not sexualizing it though, but she's using the same training.
Yeah, exactly.
So if it wasn't for her, Earth would be dead.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for her sexualized training.
No, that's the article. That's the retarded article, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's really not much more we can say.
No, the actors.
They're pulling the same shit. They're pulling the same shit they've pulled before. And you see how well it worked with He-Man Masters of the Universe, right? Netflix really needs to like put a leash on their actors and actresses and say, like, until our fucking show premieres, keep your lips zipped.
Yeah.
Say that we hope you'll watch the show, and that's about fucking it.
Yeah. I'm wondering if she thought she was defending herself, though.
I think she was, and I think she was attempting to be sarcastic, but it was in a very patronizing tone.
Yeah, I think she's been told that all these guys on the internet are attacking her because of the outfit and blah blah blah, and she's reacting to that. Mm-hmm. So I think she didn't realize the whole picture. You know,
no, they never really do. They never really do.
She was shown one side of the story, a very very colored side of it, and she was reacting to that. But this show is over though. The animated one. Mm-hmm. It's finished, right?
I believe so. I started watching it, but I never finished it. So yeah, you know, for people that are fans of it, you know, stick to the anime then, and just don't give this crap money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I still do have my Netflix subscription because there are some things I still watch on Netflix. How particularly the Witcher series. I'm waiting for the new season to come out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was going to give this show a chance, even though I saw the still images, and I'm like, this. I have a gut feeling this is going to be shit. I have a gut feeling.
Did you?
I was going to give it a chance, but now.
Did you watch the Witcher animated movie?
No, I have not had a chance. Like, this week has been the worst week for me to be able to sit down and get stuff like in, as far as like stuff.
They did a little bit of this sort of crap in that movie, because remember when they were marketing the movie, you had that guy with the tall hair, who was like a Luca, the Witcher, and you know, cool, you know, this is such an awesome Witcher, and he's in the movie, and it's important. If you watch the movie, and slight Spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
He's in there to be gay. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling the movie though, but
Yeah, like you told me that, and I'm like,
yeah,
I really don't care about a character's sexuality as long as like that's not the only defining feature, and like the way you're like
it
saying
is
it, like that is the only defining feature.
Yeah, it's the only thing he does is basically announce that he's gay a couple of times in a sense by yeah. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
All right. Yeah, Soul Assassin said he knows what character you're talking about. Okay. Well, I mean, I am going to sit down and watch it.
Yeah. The rest of the movie was fine.
Yeah, like this week has not. It's been like registering, like making sure my classes were registered for, and then getting it all sorted and things like that. So I am going to try to maybe not Monday because I got to watch Fate Zero because we're on the last 2 episodes. But I'll try to get it done. Like let's put it this way: I'll try to get it done before the end of next week. That's like the only thing I can promise right now.
It's not that long. It's like an hour and 20.
No, but I think I might be best like maybe by Tuesday at the earliest, just because of trying to get certain things fit in schedule wise. Oh shit, Orange Chad! What the hell was going on StreamYard? Oh, StreamYard is asshole. I'm sorry about that, man. Hopefully, you're able to make it up, before next Friday, but definitely by next Friday. Hopefully, you get StreamYard working for you. But yeah, so all right, last topic, so we can start kind of winding down a bit. I'm not really going to go into this article necessarily, but here's the positive for everyone, and that is this is why John Cleese is the Chad. Monty Python star John Cleese to host new documentary focusing on effects of cancel culture on comedy. And it's called Cancel Me. I love it. He's looking at the focus on cancel culture and the effects this woke trend has had on comedy. As per the Guardian's report, the documentary titled Cancel Me, the comedian is expected to meet with a wide variety of his colleagues from the entertainment industry who claim to have been canceled for their actions or statements, as well as activists who have had led opposition to various public figures. In an official statement, Cleese stated, "I'm delighted to have a chance to find out on camera about all the aspects of so-called political correctness. So at least, at the very, what should make these people happy, at least the other side, is that he's not just focusing on one side. He's actually trying to be a little bit unbiased." But I have a feeling that it's going to show that the effects of woke culture on comedy have been entirely negative. Because it used to be, from my experience growing up watching comedians, and that is, if you don't like a particular comedian, don't fucking watch him or her. Okay, you're gonna try again tomorrow night? Cool. Awesome. Yeah, like basically just don't watch that person. If a certain brand of comedy offended you by any stretch, then just don't watch them. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah, it's almost mental though, because if they don't like that kind of humor, fine. They don't have to. They can even say it's shit.
Yeah.
Right? But they're trying to make sure others can't watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which that's the insanity.
It's like Dan Slott basically policing what someone can or cannot say. And that's like these people are policing what people can or cannot find subjectively enjoyable.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I'm not a huge anime fan. I find most of it annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if I try to make anime get canceled everywhere, simply because I don't like it, you shouldn't be allowed to watch it at all.
Yeah.
Which is it at the heart of it is actually full-blown narcissism. Because they're putting themselves at the center of the world. And the world needs to cater to them. Down to the very the dumbest whim they could possibly have.
Yeah, and speaking of Chris Rock, I mean, I don't agree with his politics necessarily, But he did skits way back that would have these people having seizures now. Like for example, basically his skit about like what to do, like essentially if you're driving while black, what to do, what not to do, kind of a situation. Funny as hell. Would not fly today. Would not fly today. Like, where he talks about having a white friend with you, sort of a situation, things like that. But he does so in a comedic fashion, where it's like, yeah, like
you want to know the weird thing?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the whole thing has switched. It's the liberals that are doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're being the thought police.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was the opposite. Because remember Life of Brian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People tried to cancel them even back then because of Life of Brian, but it was the conservatives, and I think they're still not allowed to enter the Vatican because of that movie. There's an arrest order for them should they enter the Vatican because for blasphemy.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's and Life of Brian was even illegal in Norway for at least a decade due to the blasphemy laws.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much legal now, but a very good example though is, remember when Mass Effect came out, the first one?
Oh yeah,
huge uproar on Fox News and other conservative channels because you get to see an ass if you do the romance with Liara. You get to see her butt for 5 seconds during a flashy sex scene thing.
Mm-hmm.
People lost their minds over that. 5 seconds in the game that takes 50 hours to beat.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 20.
Now it's the liberals, like you said. So
yeah, because now they're censoring Miranda's butt.
Yeah.
In the Mass Effect remakes, and it's the liberals that are doing it. And that's just a couple of seconds too. So it's completely swung around.
Yeah.
While the conservatives
are
on both
sides. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's the conservatives saying, "Hey, show the ass," right?
Yeah.
And the liberals are losing their shit.
Yeah, and
took 10 years to switch it all around.
Yeah, and going back on Chris Rock, there was a stand-up routine, one of his stand-up routines where he talks about gun control. So, but he did it, like I said, in a comedic way, where he said, it's basically don't control the guns, control how much the bullets cost. Like make each bullet $5,000.
Yeah,
and things like that. Like basically, sort of like touching on a political topic, but doing so with humor, and that's the point of comedians. Like you said, like you don't. It's kind of like finding the humor amongst the bullshit. That's what comedians are supposed to do. Yeah. Nowadays, it's like they have to tiptoe around these people for fear of getting canceled.
Yeah, the best humor always has a little bit of truth in it.
Yeah, a little bit of truth. Like I said, a little bit of truth. Like that's like the point of satire.
Yeah,
it's humor, but it has enough of a truth in it to in that humor. So that's again point of comedy. At least for me, growing up, that was the point of comedy. It wasn't to cater to the subjective opinions of one demographic. So, but moving on, kind of in this article, he says there's so much I really don't understand, like how the impeccable idea of let's all be kind to people has been developed into some cases of ad absurdum. I want to bring the various reasonings right out in the open so that people can be clearer in their minds what they agree with, what they don't agree with, and what they still can't make their mind up about. Cleese is
basically he's trying to make sense out of the mess.
Yeah. In June of 2020, for example, the comedian was critical of the BBC after the British broadcaster took down an episode of Fawlty Towers, a show that Cleese co-created and starred in back in the mid to late 70s because it contained racial slurs.
It did.
What?
And it did.
All right.
It certainly did.
At the time, the actor-comedian took his frustration to social media, writing, I would have hoped that someone at the BBC would understand that there are two ways of making fun of human behavior. One is to attack it directly, Cleese asserted. The other is to have someone who is patently a figure of fun speak up on behalf of that behavior. And sometimes you use a character to kind of point out said absurdity or said element in society. That's kind of what you do with some characters, and that's the point of their dialogue. And then, but because they said what's now politically incorrect, you can't show that episode anymore. Name dropping fictional racist character Alf Garnett, Cleese continued, "We laughed at Alf's reactionary views, thus we discredited them by laughing at him." Yes, basically, you kind of have that one character that is the antithesis in a way of the other characters, so that way the other characters can act as the audience by laughing at or pointing out the absurdity or react to the, I guess, extremity of the views. And that's the point of the storytelling. But again, they don't see it that way. They don't see it as a rational, from a rational viewpoint, looking back on how storytelling has evolved.
Yeah, and the thing about Basil Fawlty, and I'm sure that's the guy they're having a go at. The character is a farce. That's the whole point. It's everything he could possibly do that's the wrong thing to do, he does it. It's almost painful to watch, because you kind of feel embarrassed on his behalf, and he just keeps adding to it and adding to it.
Well, that's what he says here. Laughed at Alf's reactionary views, basically laugh at you said the farce.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of the whole point, it's like, the same thing to a lesser, to a less offensive degree, George Costanza on Seinfeld, he keeps doing the same thing, doing exactly the opposite of what any sane person should do. And it ends badly every time, and it's almost embarrassing to watch, right? Because you're sitting there and go, no, don't do it, right?
Yeah. It also says that the episode also saw Cleese's character Basil doing an impersonation of German dictator Adolf Hitler, which was also heavily criticized by the media and social justice warriors when the episode was rebroadcast in 2013. Yeah, this
that one
that you can find GIFs of.
Yeah, he excellent episode. It's the best episode.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a guy whose city got bombed to shit by the Germans.
Yeah.
During World War II, and they almost killed my grandfather twice.
And
I think it's funny.
Yeah, but no, it doesn't. Your opinion doesn't matter. The opinion of rational human beings doesn't matter. And John Cleese told Australian newspaper The Age, if you put nonsense words into the mouth of someone you want to make fun of, you're not broadcasting their views, you're making fun of them. Exactly. You turn certain characters into farces, walking farces, to poke fun at, like in a comedic way, what is wrong. So, yeah. So basically, this is what we have to look forward to. He's working on. I'm not going to go entirely into this article, like I said, because it's going on 9:30.
And it's gone to shit when you're not even allowed to make fun of the Nazis.
Yeah. So basically, this is like what we have to look forward to. He's working on this documentary. It's called Cancel Me. It's going to be broadcast. At least I think in the UK it says on Channel 4. I'm not sure what other channels, like what it'll be broadcast on outside of the UK. So I'm not sure of that information as of yet. But that's what he's working on. That's what I'm looking forward to watching. Basically, his documentary and how he's like showing in his own basically non-partisan way of looking at the big picture and how this identity politics and woke culture has affected comedy. So that's the positive they're ending on here.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a bundle of chords that have all bundled together, and you're trying to get them away from each other, and it's like that. It's just all bundled up. Nobody knows really what's offensive this week and next week because it changes all the time, and it's insane.
They are insane. They are insane. They don't have a grasp of reality at all, because if they had a grasp of reality, they would be able to see how warped and the cognitive dissonance that their thinking has. Like I pointed out earlier, it's like these are the same people that would tell you, like if a terrorist bombing happened, not to judge the entirety of, like say, like the Muslim people, are themselves turning around and judging the entirety of a certain demographic because of like one or two individuals. They don't see that disconnect.
Yeah, and that there though is the problem. It's they aren't thinking; they are repeating and reacting.
Yeah, and they're the ones that like to think of themselves as intellects.
Yeah, they're not.
No,
they just think they are because they read something someone they think is intellectual had written.
Yeah, like basically pseudoscience and pseudo psychological babble.
Yeah,
is intellect to them, and I'm like, yeah. So that's why we have people claiming there are umpteen million genders now.
Yeah, which means how can if there's 67 genders, then how can there be bisexuals?
That's what I said. That's what I pointed out. It's like you can't call yourself bisexual now because that's admitting there's two genders, there's two sexualities that you would be, or two sexes that you would be attracted to. You can't do that now with the how many dozens of different genders now.
Yeah, and why don't the other? Well, if you have a bikini-clad female on YouTube, you get in trouble with YouTube. But what about the other 66 genders then?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure some of them have female boobs or female-looking boobs, even though they're actually a space river nymph.
Sorry, I'm so tired right now. Sorry. Yeah, it's a madhouse, basically. It's a madhouse. But all right, like I said, I am kind of like winding it down here, primarily because it's going on 9:30, and yes, I know it is a Friday night, but at the same time, I do mod for other channels, so it's gonna be something like happening in about half an hour. So I kind of have to wind this down, so I have time to take my makeup off and get back in front of my laptop and things like that. So I want to thank Steve again for hey, kudos, Greek Blend.
Hi, Jeff.
Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, thanks, Steve, again for being my co-host for the Cringe Factory. For the foreseeable future, it will be on Friday nights. Like I said, because I have a class Wednesday evening, so chances are it'll go back to Wednesday post the fall semester, but we'll see. We'll see. But thank you to everyone who stopped by. Thank you to all who sent super chats. I very much appreciate it. And tomorrow you can find me for Talk Nerdy to Us. I believe, unless anything changes, it'll be on my Nerdy Homes channel. Steph, she'll probably ask me tomorrow during the full Aussie what channel it'll be on, and I'll remind her then. But if anything comes up and she can't do it, I'll take over again. That's generally at 10 p.m. Eastern. One of us will tweet it out. One of us will tweet it out tomorrow. So if you follow both of us on Twitter, you will get that information tomorrow at some points, afternoon, evening time frame. So we cover topics such as this on weekly basis every Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern. And if one of us can't do it, then we either skip the Saturday or we get another lovely co-host like Stieg here.
I've actually been on that one a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were on the Long Halloween review. So
yeah, I was on Long Halloween.
Yeah.
I brought the long weenie for the Halloween. Sorry, Mara. Should have said it a bit later.
A little bit later. A little bit later.
Sometimes I just choke a bit with water.
I'm actually surprised I didn't choke there. I'm actually surprised I was able to have that reflex. So
excellent. She swallowed like a champion. Oh, carry on.
Well, spitters are quitters. On that note, Stieg has a commercial for us that we will end on. And again, thank you to everyone in the chat. Come back for Talk Nerdy to Us tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then the next time you'll see me, at least on the live stream, will be, unless anything changes, Mark the Cyborg's channel with Lethal Lightning and Litigation Jackson talking about the last 2 episodes of Fate Zero. So if you enjoy anime or just enjoy seeing people talk about anime, tune in for that, 7 p.m. Eastern, this coming Monday. So, let me open up the commercial that Stieg put in the private chats, and I will end on that. So, good night, everyone, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day and or evening. And hold on. Okay. Let me turn the volume up on that. And stay safe. And if you're still up, check out Twitch, either Lethal Lightning's channel or Josiah Rise's channel. They'll be streaming Warzone tonight with the boys, I believe, which will be Disparu and Mike. So, let me share my screen, and we'll end with this commercial. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. Share audio. Let me mute myself, and I'll say good night.
Night out on the town, $75.
So, how about a blowjob?
Getting the nerve to ask such a question? $12 bottle of wine.
Are you crazy? My parents might see.
Come on, who's gonna see us at this hour? I'll return the favor.
Wait, can you imagine if we got caught? Oh my God, what my dad would do to you.
There's nobody around. Everybody's asleep.
No way, it's way too risky.
Please. I love you so much.
Actually using a line like that? Another $12 bottle of wine.
I just can't.
Please.
Dad says to go ahead and give him a blowjob. Or I can do it. Or if need be, he'll come down himself and do it. But for God's sake, tell him to take his hand off the intercom.
Having a girlfriend whose father has a sense of humor? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.